Hello, and welcome to a Saturday live stream of our YouTube channel, Retainer Designer. I'm glad you're joining me today. I know it's a rainy, wet day here in Texas, and it's kind of gloomy, but it is the Saturday before Christmas, so there's something to look forward to there. And I know I'm streaming this on a Saturday, and it's kind of unusual, but I wanted to do it Friday, but it was kind of, I was getting to it too late. I was going to be streaming like 6 p.m. It was going to be dark. But anyway, I'm glad you're joining me. Let me know in the comments below where you're watching from. I always like to hear that. But today, it's something unusual. We're going to be talking about this Erco Dent 3D motion. And this is something that I picked up on eBay. But Glidewell Direct sells that, and I was going to try to share a screen, but for some reason my screen share is messed up. But I think I put a link below, Glidewell Direct. I want to say it's like $2,800 for a brand new thing, brand new machine like this. This part here is an Occluform, and I'll show you. We're going to get into what this does in just a little bit. It is an extra 800 bucks. So it is kind of expensive, but you do not need compressed air. As you see, there's a compressed air line back here. I think I got another view of this. As you see, there's a compressed air line, but that's going to my old Biostar here. It needs compressed air, just like regular Biostars. But this one, you just need to plug it in, and it's vacuum forming. So this one does positive pressure thermoforming. This one does vacuum pressure thermoforming. But it's basically the same concept. But because this is an open, this is open to the heating element, whereas this one, I'm trying to do this while I'm sitting down. This one flips over, so you heat, on the Biostar, you heat the tooth side of the foil, and then you flip it over. This one, you heat the opposite side of the tooth side, and then it sucks down, and there's a vacuum in here. And it's very, very quiet, so it's really good for dental offices. It's a lot more quieter than my backup one I have here with big, you slam it down and there's a big vacuum sound. This one has more of like a refrigerator sound to it when it kicks on. And you'll see that in a minute. This one is, like I said, this is about $2,800 on Glidewell Direct. This attachment's 800 bucks, but I was able to pick up this and the attachment for $2,500 on eBay. So always check eBay. I believe it was a orthodontist or a dentist that was selling this, bought it, never did use it, and decided to just sell it. So it's pretty much brand new. And you know, you always run the risk of buying stuff off of eBay, but I got real lucky with this one, and I have been really enjoying it. One of the other differences between this and the Biostar is the size of the foil. So this is 120 millimeter diameter, whereas the one for the Biostar is 125. So if I switch over to a camera here, this is a foil for the Biostar, and if I flip this over, you can see, oh, so many different layers. You can see it fits perfectly on there. But if I try to put it in here, it does not fit in there. So that's one of the big differences with the Erkoform, is you got to order 120. So there are companies out there that sell thermoform material in 125 millimeter diameter and 120. So if you get this machine, you'll have to order 120. Now, again, if you go to Glidewell Direct and order their stuff off of their website, it's all in 120. But if you go to Great Lakes, you can actually order this stuff. You just have to take some scissors and trim it down to where it'll fit. And I've done that before, where I needed material for one and I had it for the other. So keeping inventory when you got two different types is a little hard, but I make do. I don't get to use this as much. Lately, I've been buying thermoforming from JBC and Company, and she only sells it in 125 or square. So if I want to use it on this, I would just have to cut it down. But there is some stuff, GT Flex Pro, that I really like. I haven't ordered it in a while. That's kind of expensive, but I really do like it. And you can order it in 120. You can order it in 120 millimeter size. So actually, just so y'all see the size difference real quick. Can y'all see that? I'm trying to get a good camera shot here. So you can see just barely, but it does fit perfectly in here as opposed to this. So that being said, that first warning aside, today we're going to be doing a splint. And that splint, it's an experiment I'm doing with a doctor. We're going to try to lute two of them together. So I'm going to do this first suck down, but I'm going to use an Occluform to make sure I find that sweet spot where the teeth go. So there's going to be a little bit difference that I do on the setup. I've already tested it. It seems to work. So let's go and get this set up. So let me switch over to a better view here. Oh, we got some comments. Avanzana, hello, what's up? Glad you're tuning in today. So this is, again, the Erkoform 3D Motion. I believe this is the newest version of this. It is the greatest thing about this, and why it's called the Erkoform 3D Motion, is this will move on its own. So once you get it into the heating element phase, the timer starts, and it will, once it reaches the right temperature, this happens automatically, and the the vacuum happens. So that's the great thing about this, is you can set it and forget it. You can kind of just put this, heat it, and you can walk away, and it's going to do the rest. Now this one I do have to be here, because once it does this, I got to do this. So that's one of the differences. Now this is done with temperature, whereas the Biostar is done pretty much with time. The newest ones are computer controlled, but this unit gets up to a certain temperature, and then you just time how long the foil is underneath there. This one, the heating element does not start until you do this motion. The heating element starts, and then there's a laser right here that points up at the bottom of the foil and checks the temperature. So once it gets to a certain temperature, depending on the foil, so it measures the temperature. So once it gets to a certain temperature, that's when it goes, instead of a time thing. So once this is up and running, oh, somebody's trying to call me. Oh. Once somebody doesn't call me, once you, this thing will run on its own. I mean, you just put the model. This is great for, horseshoe appliances and stuff. So that's what this tray is for horseshoe appliances. It's so that you can get a really accurate suck down on the horseshoe. Let me grab one. It's really great for, especially 3D printed horseshoe models. I know I got one somewhere. This isn't exactly what I was looking for, but it'll work. I don't know if any of y'all have the same thing where you just have a stock of things that, models that you don't use, but you don't want to throw it away. So, as you can see, it's great for, models, horseshoe models. It's got these slits in here in this plate that, the air passes through, so the vacuum is down here and it pulls through. So this one is usually filled with beads, which I have over here. So it uses the same kind of beads that Biostar uses, and we'll get into this in a second. So you can actually embed plaster models with big bases into the beads, so just like a Biostar. So that works out perfect, just like that. So let's get started. Let me switch to a different camera here. I got a setup over here of, let me move all this. So one of the things that you first need to do is use a separate base. So this comes with the Occluform, and so it needs to replace this dish. So this will drop into here. But as you can see in here, it's got a clamping mechanism. And so what that does is you put your model in here and you tighten it down. Now I have the instructions here. I reviewed the instructions, so I'm going by memory here. But you want to get the teeth up above. Let's see if I can zoom in just a bit so you can see my work better. So you can, so you want to get this clamped in there, and I'm just making sure it's even. You want to get, just, so you're going to fill it up with grains, right? The metal beads all the way up to here. Now they do suggest doing a little bit of a distal tilt, so I'm going to put that in there. This is kind of hard, trying to show y'all and do this at the same time. But I think that looks pretty good. Yeah. So I'm going to do the suck down on the, so this is going to be an upper splint, and I'll get into the foils in a second. But once you get that clamped in there, you're going to fill it with beads. And so that's why they suggest a container like this. And I believe it comes with this scoop. Can't remember if I provided the scoop or they did. We're just going to fill it up with beads. This will prevent, the thermoforming foil to suck down against all this clamping mechanism and stuff. And of course you don't want it totally sucking down around all the teeth and structures you don't want. So there we go. Now you can get your brush. And now you can do this after you get it into the tray, but I'm going to go ahead and get this settled back down into the mechanism here. Let's see if I got a better shot of this. Yeah, this will work. Let me zoom in just a bit. There we go. So I don't know if you can tell, there is a little dot right here on the distal side, on the back side of this. There's the same dot right here, so that's what you're aiming for. Now you want to run a magnet in here, pick up any beads that fell in, because it will not stay that way. It will not go all the way down if there's a metal bead in there. So I'm going to drop this in. There we go. And now it should be flush all along here. Let me move this other camera in. Let's see if I can get a really good shot of this. Okay. So you should have beads. So you can get your beads right where you want them. Let me get my little brush. Where did my little brush go? I just had it. Oh, I put it in here. So notice I'm just pushing it down over the edge. So just like the Biostar, it's got its own little, very simple bead catch. You can see right here It's got its own little cup that it catches those beads in. Like this whole thing down here is designed to catch these beads and have them funnel down. And then this cup's removable, and you can take it and pour it back in if you need to reclaim some of those beads. So that is that nice little feature. All right, so we are making a hard, soft night guard for this upper, and we're gonna see if it works. Now I'm just getting this down below. I drew a line where I want to do my cut. I've already blocked it out, and I just blocked it out with some stone. I mixed up some stone. There wasn't much block out. You don't need to do much block out with the hard soft. Gladwell Direct calls it Erco Pro or something like that is what it's called. So we have that there. And so if I was just doing a regular night guard, I would put the thermoforming in here. I'd put the foil in here, and I'd heat it up, and then we would just do the suck down, and we're good to go. But this one is going to have an extra feature of putting, yeah, here we go. So this has an articulator built into it, which this is the coolest part of the whole thing. So I have this articulating arm. I'm going to set the pin to this broad stripe right here. And so then you can kind of see how that works. Let's see if I can get another shot. It's kind of hard finding these shots that work. There we go. Let me see if I can get one of these closer in. Nope, that camera wants to fall over. I shall not touch that camera again. Come on, camera, why are you falling over all of a sudden? Sorry, guys. I gotta fix the base of this camera. I don't want to... It's embarrassing. Well, I had shortened up the base because I was going to try to put this on the still not doing it like I want it to. Okay. I think you can kind of see what I'm trying to do here. Okay. So we're going to unscrew this. Actually, I might have a side-by-side. Okay, let's try that. So I'm going to unscrew this screw thing, and you just push it down. And so what you would normally do is you would put your wax bite in there, or whatever bite the doctor provided you, and you would put this into occlusion, and then you would crank it down like that. Let me see if I can get a good shot of this. And get the cameras in here and get them where they're not in my way, but y'all can see. That's the important thing for me. Okay, so as you can see, we have it occluded, and then it opens up. So this would do the suck down like that, and then you would, once it did the suck down, you would just do that, and it'll imprint the teeth here into the hot acrylic foil, so it does all this part for you. Now, if you don't have, they recommend, if you don't have a bite plate, to take, if a wax bite, take this and just open it up however many. Each of these marks is 1 millimeter. So like I can do 2 millimeters like that. And you can see now there's a space in there. Now, what I'm using for a foil is 3 millimeters. I was gonna go real thin, but I decided to go thicker on the upper and then thinner on the bottom when I get to that. Now we won't do that in this one. But the Patreon members, hang in there. We are having an after stream show where I'm going to try to cut this off the top model, and we will attempt to do that together. But in this case, this is a little different. So I'm going to, the doctor wants the actual teeth to be edge on edge. So you see how I have them edge on edge like that. Now, to make sure that it's the same width, I have this pink wax here, base plate pink wax. It's about 1 millimeter, and I can actually put it here. I'm going to, so you normally would not do this. This is just a extra experiment that I'm running just to see if this is what the doctor would like. So he wants the interior teeth edge on edge like that, and I want to make sure that it's the same gap back here. Let me loosen this up a bit. Yeah, there we go. And I'm just going to look around and make sure. I'm just going to push it down into that. Still got, I'll just make sure the midlines are lined up and, you know, it's not skewed one side or the other. And then I'm going to lock this down using this thumb screw here. So then I lift that up, put it back down, and there we go. We have our gap that we want for the night guard or the splint. So let's open this back up. Let's do this then. Now I do have, excuse me. Oop. Now this does come with different, oh, let me sit down. I don't have the camera. This does come with, you can order all different sizes. This is Erco Pro 5 millimeters, so I'm going to pull this out so y'all can see. What's the best way to do this? Yeah, let's move this out of the way for right now. Get that out of the way. So I have different sizes here. Like I said, I was going to go with luckily, so I could tell that this was so brand new that the doctor didn't even go through their, you get a whole lot of sample foils from Glidewell Direct whenever you order. And so these are actually samples, Erco Pro 3 millimeter thick and the Erco Pro 1.3 millimeters thick. Now this one, I don't know why. This one says transparent here, which should, hopefully they're both transparent, but you can see it's just one foil and it's got a oxygen, a moisture observing packet in there. This one, same thing. It's got a, you can see the oxygen packet. This one I've used before and it's got the same. So as you can tell, these are very sensitive to moisture. So you want to keep them a cool, dry place. But as you can see, this is a 5 millimeter disc. This sucker is thick, man. But it does fit on here, amazingly enough. So you can see what I just did was, you can see this big thick thing. So you can heat this one up, and that is that's a thick boy right there. So to keep this the moisture out of it. You can see there's warnings on here. They come with these. Well, just hold on to that, Cade. Come on. Well, if I can get it on there. I don't like these things. It's like a chip bag closer thing, but it's important it gets done because you don't want moisture in there. And again, there's a packet in there that's absorbing any moisture that I trapped in there just now. But all these are vacuum sealed. So let's go back to this. Let's open this one up. We're not going to worry about that one. I'm going to use that for the lower. If y'all want, I'll see if I can do a live stream on that one too. There we go. Got that open. And then here's this. We got some instructions. Well, how to close the bag back up. But since we're going to be using this, we don't need to worry about closing it. But as you can see, it is definitely thicker or thinner than the other one. Now, I don't know if I need to peel this off. I'm not going to. There's a film on here. I'm going to leave it on because I think I'm not 100% sure if you leave that on or not. Now, there is a extra step you can do if you want. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, here is the sample box you get from Gladwell Direct, Erco Dent. Here we go. There is this little mask if you want to use it. It's rubbery feeling, but it is breathable, and you can put it on your model just like that. And that will prevent the beads from sticking, a lot of the beads from sticking to the foil when it sucks down. So we're talking, this underside here is the soft side. So if y'all don't know what hard soft is, this side's hard where the opposing occlusion is going to abrade against, and this side is the soft side, and so that will lock on. That's why it's called lock. It'll actually be soft on the tooth side, but it will also pick up all these beads here if you're not careful. So they do make this little thing, and it does allow air to pass through into the beads, but it's like a block, keeps the beads from getting into the plastic, and that can get kind of annoying to clean up. So let's see here. Let's see if I can get a shot of this. Okay, so this, just like the newer Great Lakes one, of course, this old BioStar doesn't have a computer to it, but the newer ones have the same thing. So they do have list of foils, and you can see all the names here, all the different types of foils that are here. Let me see if I can get a better camera shot of the menu. Okay, so as you can see, there is just a whole, there's PlaySafe triple, so that's like mouth guards, and you could like click on one, and then it's 5.5. So I do have some favorites. So there's GT Flex Pro that I usually do, and Erco Dur. It's kind of the same invisible retainer. And you can put in a new foil, you can name it something, and set the temperature and the time, the cool down time. So this is Erco Krill, Erco Dur. They're all weird names, I know. Erco Lock. There's Erco Lock Pro. So if I look at this, and actually they print it on the foil. So this is Erco Lock Pro 3mm. So I'm going to click on Erco Lock Pro, and then there's all the different sizes you can get, all the way from 1mm to 5. So right now in stock, I have the 5, I have the 1.3, and I have the 3. So it's going to reach temperature of 165, and it's got a 3-minute cool down. So during that 3-minute cool down, make sure you ask your questions. I'll do some Q&A about this thing then. Now, one thing we're going to do is we're going to click this button, which is the Occluform button, which means it's going to tell this that, hey, I'm going to use this Occluform thing, and so it's going to give me a little bit of time to do that before it goes into cool down mode. So there we go. I'll put that back in. Let me double check about that foil on there. Everything is in German. I don't think it's... How many of these did they give me? Oh, we got another dental things. Good morning. The moisture absorbing packets are lifesavers. Always sucks to have bad batch of bubble sheet, right? Or you get some old ones. Somebody, my aunt or somebody was working on one of these, and I think not my aunt. It's probably me. Some fell behind the thing here without just raw, and we never did know that. And so we've been using those for experiments, but there's always these tiny little bubbles in them. And here's my theory on those is if the bubbles, if the moisture gets absorbed into the foil, and then as it heats up, it releases steam and it makes little bubbles. I could be completely wrong about that, but that's how I think those bubbles are. But yeah, those moisture, make sure you keep those in there whenever you're dealing with this. But I'm trying to read this. They gave me like 4 or 5 of these Erco Lock Pro blue, green, pink, transparent. Oh, you can get them in blue, green, and pink. I had no idea. This is English. Okay, this is French, Italian. So you can see this is a international company, and they I don't see it where you pull that off. I can't remember. I hadn't done it in a while, so I'm gonna leave it on because most of the newer ones you leave that. There's a thin little film on the inside, and that just helps to make a nice clean break. We'll see it whenever in the patrons after stream, we'll peel that off. So anyway, dental things, guys, keep an eye out. We're doing an interview on dental things on the ORG podcast. So all those that are watching, subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to his channel, Dental Things. He's actually an a dental assistant instructor that he does videos online like I do for lab techs. He does it for assisting. So we're going to do a cool interview. I'm looking forward to that. But I had a sickness on my end. He's recovering from sickness on his end, so we had to postpone a couple of times. But we're going to get there. So pay attention next week during that week between Christmas and New Year's, and we'll have that interview coming up. That's what I've deduct from it. They boil out. I've tried to slow bake them out, dehydrate them, been hit and miss, but fun to figure out definite solution. Yeah, I think Great Lakes actually sells a real expensive what do they call it? Dehumidifier or something. It's like a little oven, and it's upright. You put the foils in there and you put them in, and it slowly bakes them out. There's actually, if you go to Great Lakes Tech or whatever, it does that. But anyway, let's get back to this thing. See if I can get a good shot of everything here. Sorry, I was staring at my backside. I know, it's beautiful. There we go. Okay, I guess I'm zoomed out all the way. Okay, so I'm going to do a check mark right here saying I'm ready. So I got Erco Lock Pro 3mm, says it up here. I have the Occluform checked. And then here you can adjust some of the other settings, cool down and things like that. So I'm gonna hit this, and it actually plays a little video of how to set up for the Occluform. Turn foil manually under heating. Now, one thing that I probably need to point out is you cannot see any of that. There we go. Okay, let me go back. So here's the check button. I'm going to click Occluform, and then I'm going to click check, and then it plays a little video. This is the fancy thing that this Erkoform 3D motion does. But one thing I wanted to point out, so it's showing what it's doing there. This is actually a lower. And let me point that out. So the upper and the lower have a different path. If you are doing a lower, you need to move this from the top to the bottom, and that is actually going to lock this. It's actually going to lock it here, and then it's going to rotate here. So so if you have the lower in here and you have the upper here, depending on where this key is, it's going to depend on the travel, how it interacts with that. So since it's up, since I'm doing the upper on here, I have it in the upper thing. So that it tells you that in the instructions. But one thing I want to point out is the writing. You know, it's if you're confused on which side, because it's very important which side you put in here, because if you put it upside down, then the soft side is going to be facing up. And usually I put my fingernail in it, and you can kind of feel it doing that. So I'm going to lock that in, but as long as you can read it left to right, it's not mirrored or anything, you know you have it in the right position. Okay, so this is ready to turn foil manually under heating. So let's do this. So then that changes to here. One thing that they ask you to do is always keep that little sensor clean so it can read accurately the temperature. But as you can see, this temperature will start rising. It'll go from 20 degrees Celsius to 65. So 20 degrees Celsius, probably what, 73 degrees or something like that. Y'all can do the math in these settings. So this is the neat part about this is you all you have to do is sit there and watch it. And you don't have to do anything else, especially if you were just doing a suck down like a invisible impression or something like that. In a little bit, you're going to hear this thing click on. I'll try to put my mic near it so you can actually see it, or sorry, actually hear how quiet it is. And that's probably my favorite feature is you do not need compressed air for this. You just need to plug it in. It's all contained in one unit. So while that's going, let's see, 59, 60. So this is the wonders of a live stream is we get to actually, there's no cutting or editing. You get to see me mess this up. I mean, do this live on air. So we are waiting on this to do the suck down. It's going to alert me to when to do the Occluform part. '86, 87 Celsius. I don't know. Anybody can do that math for Fahrenheit? I haven't gone into the settings of this machine. Maybe it does have a setting where I could switch it to Fahrenheit. Again, this is made by a German company, I believe. I don't know who that is. Erco Dent and Great Lakes. Glidewell. They both start with a G. Glidewell Direct sells it, and they're the. I think Finalizing also sells a version of this. They call it Track V or something like that. But it's almost the exact same model. So there's a company that makes these. Oh, there it goes. I don't know if y'all heard that. Let me lean in close so you can. That's the vacuum. It's pre-loading the vacuum so that once it hits and seals off here, it'll create that. Ooh, there's a hair right there. I should pull that off. Don't mess up. Don't mess up. So you want to definitely make sure the beads are clear. That's another thing I like about this is compared to the Biostar. There's really nowhere for the beads to catch. You can see it's beveled here. So if the beads, as long as they're not on this small ledge, you're good. And they'll just spill over. There we go. So now it's warning you, hey, it's about to get, it's saying don't put your hand in here, like what I'm doing right now. Don't do it. Don't put your hand in there. So I'm going to see if I can do this without getting in the way of the camera. 62, 63, 64, 65. And then it does that. And then it alerts me to do this. And you just press down on top here. And now it goes into the cooling phase. But as you can see, it does a decent job. Again, this would have embedded more into this hot molten acrylic if it was not edge on edge. So since it's edge on edge, I really only gave it 1 millimeter. So it may not even be worth it there. Let me try to get my live camera here. So I don't know if you can hear that vacuum or not, but that's it. That's the whole sound. So y'all let me know in the comments if y'all like to see like just a regular Essex being made on this. I can probably do that. And maybe the Patreon after stream, we can do that. It shouldn't take long. And I'm sure I have a model in my cabinet of things. So during that comment, no comments, but you can see that we are just kind of in a waiting process. So we just got to get that to cool down. The vacuum's going right now. You probably can't hear it. Give me a thumbs up or something if you can hear the vacuum, or comment, hey, you can hear it. Like I said, it's real quiet, and that's what I like about it. Now, okay, this is quiet too. So don't get me wrong. This is quiet. I have a video of a suck down, like an old school suck down you'd have in a doctor's office. Those things are so loud, like a vacuum cleaner. So loud. This is really quiet compared to that. This is quiet too because it's compressed air, depending on where your air compressor is. Mine's in a shed on the other side of this wall behind me. And so I never, and it's a quiet compressor. I can barely hear it turn on. So yeah, this is quiet, but you do need to run a compressed air line. The great thing about this is all you have to do is plug it in and it's all good to go. There's probably some maintenance on the vacuum motor somewhere along the way. Let me show you this. This is the cup that holds the beads. So you can see mainly where the suction happens as it pulls the air through the beads. But you can see that. There it goes. All right. Let me get this so we can get a close-up shot of this. So it gives you a little video how to do this. And you pull the whole cup out. So let's see if I can do it just like the video. So I'm going to pull this off. And you can kind of, there's just slight indentions in there, just very slight. Now, if I was using the thick 5 millimeters, I would have probably every single tooth on here. But I'm not, in this case, I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for, you know, edge on edge. So I do feel that. And if I'm in the right light, I was hoping you could see it, but I don't know if you can see it very good. So we are going to slide this lock ring, set it aside. We're going to lift the arm and we're going to take this whole cup out at once. Just like that. So let me, while I'm precariously holding this in my hand, let me move some stuff over. Get out of here. Get out of here. So here is, get a little height on here so y'all can see. Sorry for the shakiness. All right, so I'm going to take my screwdriver here. I'm going to go to that screw. It's not a screwdriver, it's a hex. And I'm going to loosen the clamp that's in there. Now you can't do it too much because there's beads in the way of the clamp, but ASMR, anybody? There we go. And then here's that thing right there. So it's still a little warm. So I kind of want to let it cool a little bit more. But this is where I will go and cut it. I just got to set up those cameras for that live stream. But I'm going to let this cool, and then when we get to the members only live stream, after stream, we'll get to cutting this out, and I'll show you how I mess that up too. But I will post a picture of this when I'm done with it, so that everybody can see on, I'll probably post it on YouTube, maybe Facebook if I can remember, those that are watching from Facebook. But that's it. That is the Erco Dent 3D motion with an Occluform. That is all we're doing today. Yeah, it is very silent. Yeah, I do like that. I definitely like something is... Oh, there we go. Well, I guess my internet's trying to go out. But anyway, if you have any questions about this, leave them in the comments below. I'll get to every one of them if I can. Again, you can go to Glidewell Direct. I put a link down below to that, down in the description below. So you can kind of go look at this, see if this is something you would want to buy. I think you got a call to order it. They was on back order for the longest time, and that's actually why I went with eBay. It's the only place I could find it, because they were on back order. It was during COVID, you know, everybody was running low on parts and stuff. They were having a hard time keeping up with the demand. So that's what I had to do there. I don't know why this is freezing up so much on me. Hopefully it's not freezing up on y'all, but I see it freezing up on me. I probably have too many kids streaming stuff right now. But let me end it there. And I want to wish everybody, those that celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas. That's happening in a couple days. I'm going to see y'all with the live stream with dental things in next week. So, you know, mark your calendars for that. Monday or Tuesday. No, not Monday. Monday's Christmas. Tuesday or Wednesday, I think is what we talked about. But anyway, Merry Christmas to all of y'all. Happy holidays, whatever y'all celebrate. I hope y'all have a good time with friends and family. And just a personal note, my dad, who helped me build this lab, he passed away last week. So prayers for my mom. It was kind of sudden heart attack. So he was 83, so he lived a full life. But there are many things he taught me. Things being like, you borrow a tool, you put it back, and being honest and open about things, and don't deal with people that are dishonest. You don't want to do with that. So anyway, that's a personal note. So prayers, if you're a praying person, for my mom, who's dealing with a lot right now. But she is celebrating Christmas with us and my 7-year-old little girl, which my dad absolutely adored. So that was fun to watch that. So thank y'all for tuning in. I will see y'all next week. Possibly 2 live streams. One interview with dental things, and then another one, something I'm going to do around the lab. So pay attention for that. Those that are watching on Patreon, stay tuned, stay on board. If you're a Patreon subscriber, go to Patreon. Those that are $10 and above a month, you get an after stream. We're going to cut this out on the after stream, but hang in there, and I'm going to end the stream for the other things, and then hopefully this works. I haven't dealt with this before, but that being said, hope to see y'all next time, and happy bending. Let me get my fancy face up here. Oh, my outro. So again, this is loud. I need to redo it, so watch your ears. And until next time, again, happy bending and Merry Christmas to everyone. Well, I'm still alive. Well, yeah, still alive.